Shout out Near Falls with D Hall's podcast.
Welcome to Near Falls with D Hall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, it's Near Falls with D Hall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. Talking Near Falls with D Hall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl.
And we are live for another edition of Near Falls in the WPIAL. It's your boy D Hall back again as always, and calling him out of the bullpen. Got to give me the lefty. Bring me my man Smitty. How are you, sir?
D Hall, I'm so good. It is the season. We're in full swing of wrestling mode. High school, college, even the youths are wrestling right now. And I'm so excited for tonight's show. I had the opportunity to call the Kiski area Cavaliers this past Saturday in the Cavalier Dual Finals. And then again on Tuesday night, and probably one of the greatest matches I've ever had the opportunity to call. G and I were on to go back, check it out. We were absolutely exhausted. We're going to have some awesome guests on here tonight. But let's go. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too as well out there. And yeah, man, let's not bury the lead. What a fantastic weekend into fantastic Tuesday for Kiski. We have Matt Keebler, the assistant coach, and Cooper Roskowski, their stud 215-pound senior, coming on here in just a little bit. We're going to talk about their fantastic weekend. And you said it right there, Smitty. They were at the Kiski Doles, their home Doles, and man, the competition there was very, very high level. And Smitty, they took them all out, beat NA, beat Cannon Mac, and ended up being the champions for the day.
For sure, and that's coming off the heels of another dual tournament they were in the weekend before, prior to the kickoff show on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Go back, check that out. Sorry, D, I had to put a plug in right there.
Love it.
But, they're now 12-0, wrestled, Burrow at Burrow. Every year it's one of the greatest matches. 25 years going on. I believe Burrow's captured the last three, including a come-from-behind win last year at Kiski. I believe Kiski was up 33-0, and the final was 35-33. Absolutely insane match. And it wasn't much different this past Tuesday over Burrow. Absolutely packed gym. You, Alex, the kids, you all rolled in. It was hot in there. It was loud. And good golly, Miss Molly. It wasn't, they weren't down 33-0 this time, but it was back and forth. A little juggle there towards the end with some weight classes. And I was so tired going into the match. It was just one of the Tuesdays. It was like the case of the Monday. Get there so tired. And the match got me so excited. I got home. I was so tired afterwards. And it's one of those nights where you just lay there and you can't go to sleep. I texted in, Aunt Sandy and Heater, and I had to tell him, that was one of the greatest matches ever. Please continue what you're doing. And we're talking about a double-A team ranked number 1 in the WPIAL, and I'm pretty sure Kiski has earned the right to be number 1 in the WPIAL and AAA right in Westmoreland County. So how excited are we? Let's go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're going to talk a bunch about, their performance and, what they did. And you're right, Smitty, just kind of echoing what you said there. If you're a wrestling fan in the Whitman, you haven't been to a Burrow Kiski Duel, what are you doing? Get out there, go. It is unbelievable, the atmosphere. And it's not like, these people, it's not like just going and watching with a bunch of, people that don't understand the sport. They're calling every stalling call, every out of bounds, every near fall point, every single caution. I was so in awe and so juiced to be there. I absolutely loved it. Alex was talking about it on the way home. She was like, that was a completely different atmosphere than what I'm used to. I'm like, yeah, that's what
that's the first time you've seen.
That was I've been there before. And that's why I told her, I said, you got to go to one of these. And, I was talking to Kaz and I said, Kaz, what do you think is in here? Like people wise. And he was like, oh, I'm thinking at least 800. I was like, dude, that is some impressive stuff, and that's a testament to both towns. They take that rivalry very seriously. They show out, and and it's just pure passion, because in the grand scheme of all of it, right, if either of those teams lose, one's AA, one's AAA, does it really matter in the grand scheme? Not really, but hell yeah, it matters to both those schools a lot, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, there is a lot of pride, and each program is, I mean, good golly, I believe there's 24, 25 WPIAL team titles, endless, countless individual team state champions, place winners. I mean, these are two programs that look forward to this match each and every single year, and it's all about pride. And what people don't realize is that a lot of these guys work out together all round, all year. They're just working out with one another. But we saw some new faces this past Tuesday. Each program has their leadership, their juniors, their seniors, but we're continuing to see these freshmen and sophomores that are stepping onto a stage like that. And to be honest with you, to wrestle in Burrow on Tuesday, these guys won't be afraid. Like that stage is so insanely hot that they're not going to be worried. Like when it comes to the county tournament, it's just another day at the office to these guys. And certainly proud to have the opportunity to be there, call the match. But just to say we're from, West Moco, and to have those two programs going at it again, AA, AAA, each probably number one in the WPIL, and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, for sure, Smitty. And let's talk to two of the key pieces of that Kiski squad. Let's bring them on. What do you think here?
Let's do it. Keebs.
Coach Matt Keebler and stud Cooper Roskowski. How you boys doing?
Dude, you got me juiced up just re-talking about it, man. Like,
dude, I mean,
again,
and I was looking back at my archives. I think this is the third year in a row I went back and forth of like the Kiski Burrow winner, of having like the winner on to kind of talk about like the duel. But I'm obsessed with it, man. I loved the energy, the towns, the passion. It was standing room only. We were up there, like I was with McCara. We were all the way up in the corner. We had the kids like corralled in the corner because there were just so many people everywhere. It was great. Sure. I sat right behind Smitty for a couple matches, and him and George are kind of losing their mind, just the back and forth of the match. It was great. I guess my first question, before we get into the Tuesday match, Coop, you had a pretty damn good weekend, buddy. Talk about that. I believe it is the first time in quite some time, if ever, that someone has beat the number one in both AA and AAA. So just talk about the weekend over there at your home there in Kiski Duels.
Well, I knew going into the weekend that I would have both of them, and I thought, why not me? Why can't I beat them? I knew I could, so I just knew I just had to go get it done.
Go ahead, Smith.
Bro, you the number one 250 pounder in Horror out of Du Bois. You major them. Like, that's a statement win. And then you get into heavyweight, and I won't lie, I had no idea that McConaughey was ranked number one in the state. And you go out and you were working on a major. And he was injured, and I get it. It's December. We're going to pull out. What was your reaction after that? I mean, you're a pretty level-headed guy. I mean, you Roskowski's, you're no stranger to the main mat, the big show. But what was going through your head after that, brother?
I mean, I just knew it was another match. I knew if he came back from that injury time that I'd just get right back to my offense, and the match would keep going how I want it to go.
Cooper, it's no secret that the Roskowski family is pretty recognizable in the Kiski area there. Talk about just kind of following your brother and kind of just making your own path and really carrying the torch that all these Kiski, upper weights and hammers that they just seem to continue to do year after year.
Well, when I was coming into high school, I was hoping to have half the career my brother had, but I think I can happily say I've surpassed him a little, and that feels amazing. talk a little smack at family gatherings when I see him. And because he's always had good heavyweights, it's cool to just keep that going.
Smitty, go ahead, brother.
Is that going to be a little bit of chatter this week? You know, Braden's home. He came up behind us the other night after the match. Always good to see him. Got to give a shout out to Graham Roskowski. But is there, throughout the Christmas week while your brother's home, is that going to be a little bit of chatter?
You know, he likes to talk, but he hasn't been in the room. So, I mean, all bark, no bite.
Coach Keebler, your thoughts on the last, your last two performances, actually last three, 2 dual meet tournaments, come out of it 11-0, go into a very hostile Burrell High School. Y'all lost the last 3 times you were there, and in amazing fashion, you get the mat slapper there at 114 for the win. Talk about it.
Yeah, listen, I've said it last time I was on this show. This team, I've never been more proud of a group of guys than this team. There were so many wild cards coming in, and this isn't a slight on any other team we've had. We've had obviously some really good teams, but those 3 WPIAL championship teams we've had. I mean, we had Noah Levitt, WPIAL champ, Jack Bloomer, WPIAL champ, Darren Miller, state champ, Isaac Reed, state champ. Cam, just littered with guys. We walk into the gym, we knew we were the best team, right? This team, not many people can name 3 guys on this team outside of Cooper and Mario and Abe, right? Which is a testament to what these kids do, the work they put in. They're starting to believe that they could do it, and we've been preaching that, we weren't where we wanted to be in a program, 3 years ago. And we put a lot of expectations and things on Cooper's shoulders and Abe's shoulders and these senior shoulders back then, because we knew they could keep it going. And they just, there's no complaining. I mean, they've done so much for this program, as a group, and we are just so thankful for them and what they've done for this program. And the excitement is so high. There has been very little groups that have been so cohesive. I mean, have you seen some of the videos and stuff from up at Greenville, and then at our duels, and then Burrell? I mean, you just see everybody just so involved in every aspect and every second of the match. I mean, it means a lot, So I mean, we wrestled really well. At Greenville, we wanted to get away. We were at the Trinity Duels last year. We wanted to get away and see people we don't see. We don't see those teams at all very much. And to get some decent teams and some decent individual matches to start the season, it worked out. It worked out awesome. And then we go into our senior night. We just never really wrestle well on senior night. There's just so many distractions, and you get out of your routine and things, and Indiana was a good team. They had some really good individuals, especially down low. And to come off of that into our duels with what we had there and to wrestle like we did, I mean, it was great. Am I going to say that I had us beating Ken and Mac on paper? I can't say that but I knew we could, and we put it together, and we did.
And let's touch on that some more, man. I think that is a, it's going to be a big talking point with me and Smitty whenever we get done here. And it's, you guys go out and you beat Ken and Mac. You go out and you beat North Allegheny. You knew those teams were part of the field. You knew you were going to see them at some point. You watched Ken and Mac go out and beat Connellsville and a big duel and a real tight duel with Norwin. Norwin's lurking. Basically, my question is, it's wide open. There is 6, 7, 8 teams that can go out and win a championship, and obviously you guys are a part of that. So, what's it feel like to be back in the hunt like that again?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting, and for as a fan and a coach of this sport, like you said, it's going to be an exciting 2-3 months coming after the New Year's. You know what I mean? Seeding is going to be such a big thing just because of matchup. How much weight are they going to put into our wins, at versus North Allegheny and Ken and Mac? That's going to be interesting because we kind of got the the short end of that stick last year. We had a couple good wins at the beginning of the year, but they put our losses kind of more, they put more emphasis on that than they did our wins. So, you know, all these teams are going to be different. You know, once the 2 pounds comes in, we're going to be different. You know, so there's some really good teams. I mean, Franklin's obviously, you know, returning WPIAL champs. They're there. Norwin's a great team. Trinity just went to Criteria with Franklin. Moon's a really, really good team. You know, obviously Connellsville, you can never count those guys out, but you know, it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be who's wrestling the best, who's the healthiest, and who's the luckiest, you know, and that's exciting.
Cooper, talk to me about
that as the most.
it's all
it's
good,
such
Smitty.
a beautiful right now. You know what I mean? You had Norman beat Canamac. Canamac goes beats Connellsville. Franklin Regional beats Trinity and Criteria. You guys beat NA. You beat Canamac. I mean, it is the most gorgeous mess I've ever seen, and that's what makes Southwestern Pennsylvania WPIAL what it is.
Yeah,
you know,
it's awesome.
Of course, the team wants to be that head of. They want to be that head above. But there's no declared leader right now. It's absolutely going to come down to the wire, and so exciting for all of us here in Southwestern PA. Coach, I wanted to ask you, in a pair of matches that I got to see you wrestle in, you guys are very high paced.
Yes.
Is that something that we work on in the preseason? I mean, we don't want the injury time. We don't want the blood time. I mean, I saw you guys run out. I'm pretty sure Doug Joseph came out with a piece of toilet paper to plug somebody's nose in his shorts when it was 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
You guys are wrestling high pace. Is that something you want to push throughout the season?
100%. You know, we started that a couple years ago. We changed so much a couple years ago just based on we were kind of complacent with what we were, you know. And we needed a change, and it was like, number one, hey, we're gonna change this practice routine, and we have a lot of high pace drilling. You know, we're wrestling guys up. We're going right to our next rep. You know, there's not a team. I'm telling you right now, there's not a team that works harder than us, and we show that every time out there. You know, so we want to get out on the line. We want that guy to wrestle. We want to get back at it. You know, and that's kind of just it's just an extension of our practice room. I mean, we push the guys hard in the practice room. You know, we don't beat them up, you know, but we push them, and there's expectations every day in that room, you know. And I know you're talking about the Ben Murphy match, you know, with Crawford. He started bleeding, and yeah, we don't want that because we knew Ben works harder. We knew Ben was in better condition. And Ben almost pulled that out for a freshman wrestling his 10th varsity match. That's a seasoned guy that he wrestled. I mean, and he was right there. They're going to wrestle again in a month, and Ben's going to win that match because he's going to be better. He's going to be ready for it. And that Ben Murphy's just a goer, man. And that's a kid that up until a month ago, we didn't even know we were going to pull up. He was going to be on the junior high team. We had an injury, and we had a kid not come out for the team. Ben was the third guy up. He came in. And that dude is going to do big things this year, next year, as a junior and as a senior. And that, like, I'm just such a big, every person on his team, man. They have so much. They work so hard. It's good to see right now.
Surprise!
It
You
is.
guys have a young freshman that's reloading.
Yeah,
no doubt. Smitty, I'll let me sneak this one in here for Cooper. Cooper, for me, man, the biggest question I have is, you know, I saw that you committed to Buffalo. Talk about that process, and you know, you excited to be a Bolt?
I'm very excited. I went up. I love the campus. The coaches are great people. It seems like the wrestling team is on the up, and the administration backs them, and that's kind of what it's like at Kiski. You know, we just got a new room. I feel like Buffalo would be home for me.
Love that. Go ahead, Smith.
What are you going to study?
I'm studying mathematics.
Man, you guys blow my mind. We had so many mathematics majors this year, and good for you. What do you want to do with it?
I want to go and
numbers together and really piss me off.
I want to be an actuary. They just do risk analysis for businesses and insurance agencies.
Dude, talk about the camaraderie in the room. Obviously the last couple of years, things have not been at the Kiski area Cavalier standard, but the temperature in the room, the culture, the environment, how excited is everybody, but how are we maintaining this mindset of we need to stay level? We haven't won jack yet. Okay, we're not even to Christmas. You guys have some high-level competitions coming up. How are we all handling that kind of success or pressure that comes with success?
I mean, we're all super close. We all want to win for each other. We all work hard for each other. There's expectations, and everyone is living up to them. And you can't be the guy that slacks.
Yeah, these guys, it's such a good group because these guys hold each other accountable.
I was just gonna say that, Coach. How do you create that atmosphere? How's that happen?
For leadership, not from us, and an extension to our captains on our team. They're Mario and Coop. They wrestle each other every day. They're constantly pushing each other. Jackson Paul, like Gavin Murphy. Those two wrestle every day. They're constantly pushing each other. Mario sometimes says, "Hey, Abe wasn't working his feet. I'm going with Abe today. I'm going to push him today." Coop says, "Hey, I'm going to go with Alex Akerley today. I'm going to get him working a little bit." These guys go around and they hold each other accountable. We very rarely do we have to say anything. Hey, let's go, let's get it up today, because the kids are doing it. And if you slack for 5 minutes in our room, you're going to get beat up just by the guy you're wrestling with, because they ain't going to slack. That's where it's just an expectation now. They come in and they're ready to work. And it makes our job, I'm not going to say easy, but a lot easier when the kids are holding each other accountable. But that just goes to a testament of the kids that we have, and it's awesome, and they just got to believe that, like talking to Coop, like before we told Coop, hey, you're going to have Kendall Orr, you're going to have McConaughey this weekend, and trying to talk it, your pace is better than you work harder. And then Coops goes, and I know they don't work with a Mario Hutcherson, so that's my practice partner every day. It's getting that mindset that, hey, I work harder, I eat better, I get my sleep, finding those things to believe. And the mindset is really big. And we try to push that on these guys. And again, they're starting to come along, and you could see what it is. But like you said, we're not done. We're going to get better. We're going to be a better team now. We're going to be a better team in February and March than we are now. Better individuals in that time than we are now. And we're just going to keep going.
You guys have wrestled a lot of high-level competition early on in the season. And, it's not getting any of course, you're going to have Powerade coming up, then the county tournament. A beautiful disaster I've ever seen in my life. We're going to have the healthy mix of triple A and double A. Yeah. It's absolutely gorgeous. But back to the high-level competition that we're competing against early on. Are we watching film on guys, or are we just going out there and we're wrestling our match, our style, and we're going out there and we're getting after it?
We're never going to tell guys to get away from what they do, but we do watch film. We watch Kendall Orr. We watch match on him. We're not changing anything Cooper does, but we're saying, hey, this is what he does. Be ready for it. We don't want him to do anything different. We don't want our guys to change what they do. When you start changing what they do, you start overthinking, and you get away from your offense and things that you do well. That's what we do. So yes and no. We watch film for sure, but we don't change a whole lot from what we're going to do. We try to pick things and the significant things and adjust for those. But other than that, we're not going to change anything that we do.
Yeah. Identify their strengths, be ready for them, find them, and, let's go get those weaknesses. I like it. Go ahead, D.
I really don't have too much else, Smitty. So if you have any more questions, I'm going to ask him the final one.
Guys, you have been uber impressed. Yeah, you kind of caught me off guard there. Way to go. You have been extremely impressive thus far through the season. Let's stay healthy. Let's get after it. But most importantly, let's enjoy Christmas, the family aspect of it, the New Year's. And, we'll see you guys at Powerade and then again the county tournament and then the stretch down 2020. Best of luck to you. Again,
Can't wait.
Amazing match the other night. Thank you for all the work that you guys put in. You honestly make my job easy.
Well, thank you, Smitty, for all the stuff, all the work you put in too, getting us out there and exposed. Just wrestling in general, but for us, we really appreciate that as well. And Donnie, for sure, you as well.
My man, appreciate you guys. I guess really the last thing I have, Cooper. Do you have anything or anyone you want to shout out while you're on the platform here?
I could shout out the entire team, but a few guys that I think are going to make a big difference this year coming down the stretch is going to be Abe Taylor, Gavin Murphy, Ben Murphy, Jackson Pollock, and I think Alex Akeley is going to surprise some people this season.
Like it.
I don't want to leave anyone out.
Yeah,
they
I
all
like
do.
that.
Paxton Knoll too. So basically,
Well, maybe if you did get left out, grab the captain's attention, right?
No. Do you know what? I do have one thing, too. I got a bone to pick with her. You know what? The other night, you had one hell of a Saturday, beat 2 number ones in the same day, different weight classes, which I have to check on that. I don't know that that's ever been done before.
Listen, I texted a lot of people. I don't mean to jump on you, Smitty, but I texted a lot of people. I texted Upson. I texted Donnie. I texted Kaz. I said, I don't ever, I've been around for, 20 some years. I don't ever remember that happening. I remember at the state tournament, like a kid knocking off like a returning state champ and then a state champ from 2 years before at the same weight class. But to beat 2 number ones in consecutive weight classes in the same day, I don't think that's happened.
I can't think of any time.
Get Vandergrift on the map. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm new to this chat thing, Graham, and Donnie, he'll attest to this. I'm terrible at it. And I was like, all right, I think I got to tell Coop. I was like, dude, such a damn fine job that you did on Saturday. And then that little emoji pops up where he's like, he read it and he didn't respond. It broke my heart.
I don't really respond to people.
Oh, okay. You just read.
He just has his mom respond. I'm surprised his mom didn't text you and thank you. He'd like.
Yeah, it was nothing personal. I just. I don't respond too much.
Had to end it on a great note, a funny note. Shout out to the Ruskowski family, the Kiski area Cavalier family. We'll see you guys soon in Mad Side. Love you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Always a pleasure. We'll see you soon. Coming on.
Always.
Merry Christmas.
And that was 2 of the key components of the Kiski Cavaliers. Man, what a great weekend that they had. Smitty, before we dive into kind of what they talked about, let's run a couple ads here and talk about some people that are supporting the show.
The office. Thank you. Hi, my name is Antonio Reyino, owner of Reversal Health and Wellness. I've been in healthcare for nearly 20 years and seen the effects obesity can have on someone's health. That's what inspired me to offer GLP-1 therapy at Reversal Health and Wellness. New evidence-based research has shown remarkable benefits of the therapy, including reversing fatty liver disease, improvement of sleep apnea, and slowing the progression of heart and kidney disease. And unlike national online companies, you won't get lost in the mix and you're not just another number. You'll receive a personalized treatment plan tailored to your goals and your health. And if you're not near Newcastle, Pennsylvania, no worries. Telemedicine options are always available. Also at Reversal Health and Wellness, we offer IV hydration therapy. We offer 7 different IV cocktails infused with nutrients designed to restore balance, boost energy, and support optimal health. Rather, if you're an athlete training for a competition, or a fatigued mother or 2, or recovering from an illness, IV hydration will benefit you. We're located in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, on Wilmington Road at the Maison Building. You can either book online or call the office. Thank you.
Is not game day without Pizza Bosa. Perfect for the family and the guys. Right next door to the PPG Paints Arena in downtown Pittsburgh. Dine-in, pickup, and delivery available from 10 a.m. to midnight. Stop by 741 5th Avenue or call 412-575-7575.
All right. And that was a word from a couple of our sponsors that just such great people there. Of course, Antonio Reino, the longtime assistant coach at Laurel. Laurel's going to be sneaky this year. Smitty, we'll talk about them here in a little bit. And of course, Pizza Bosa downtown, the Islamov family from Baldwin's. Go down there. You're going to a Penguin game down and get a couple slices, support them. Of course, great pizza down there in the center of the city. Smitty, normally Kaz talks about the Manor Valley Golf Club, but of course, you've spent a lot of time out there at beautiful Manor Valley. Give me a little plug for that place.
Spent a lot of time in the woods there, D Hall. A lot of time in the woods. You know, Vince DeAugustine, his family, you know, I believe he took over, gosh, maybe 5, 8, 10 years ago. I mean, who knows? Time flies by so fast. But he's done such an amazing job of developing and growing that facility. You know, if you remember, you may not remember from the past. That's why we're giving it a plug. But it was a much smaller clubhouse. For gosh sakes, I mean, they have, you know, so many different graduation parties and all the, you know, to get married, all those different celebrations. I don't even know what they're called. Kickoff shows, you know, there's so much that goes on there, and it's awesome. He has a wonderful staff. The golf course, you gotta love it. It's a golfable golf course for somebody of my caliber, but it's also challenging to the folks that want to be challenged. And where else can you golf in the area under the lights? You know, the front nine is lit. Where else can you do that? I mean, that's the plug right there. But shout out to Vince DeAugustine, his family, his staff for continuing to grow that place.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Great call there, Smitty. They are fantastic over there at Manor Valley. That is the east side if you need to get some golf in. Now, for those out here on the west side of the city, I must recommend beautiful Fox Run Golf Course in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. The Stroop family now owns it. Of course, another wrestling family. You guys know I only support wrestlers and wrestling families. I love that. That's all about it. And man, the big thing I got to plug about this Fox Run, for years, the first hole was a wretched 610-yard par 5 where the green was all the way in the corner. Now it's a fantastic downhill, about 500-yard par 5, pretty easy hole. It looks, you know, if you hit the ball pretty decent off the tee, you have a good chance to get there in two. Just makes it for a much more playable, much more fun course. And of course, they are upgrading the clubhouse and the facilities as well, new cart pass and things of that nature. So if you're in the east, Manor Valley. If you're in the west, Fox Run. You guys know I'm a big golfer, so I gotta let you know where I hang out at. All right. Last couple ones I have for you, two fantastic wrestling clubs that are very near and dear to my heart. First one being D1 Wrestling Club down there in Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania. Of course, ran by the legendary Snapper. That is James Fleming of West Mifflin, PA. I mean, what can you say about my man? Just a dog, and really one of the best teachers in the game. That is D1 Wrestling Club. Go check them out, and go get a practice in, man. Just some fantastic stuff. And a little bit more north and a little bit more west of that in Muse, Pennsylvania. Again, another legendary figure in the WPIAL, Mr. Jim Akerley over at Quest School of Wrestling. Of course, if you haven't already, go back and listen to my episode with Jim Akerley. Literally one of my favorite episodes of all time. I sat down on his mat and just talked about his wrestling life, talked about his career, talked about opening up the gym, just the backstory, the history of it. I was all about it. It was so much fun. So again, if you are down south, check out D1 Wrestling Club, and if you're in the west, go check out Quest School of Wrestling. All right, man, Smitty, what a fantastic interview there, Coop. Just just a wise beyond his words type of cat, just really soft spoken. I was just super impressed. Obviously, every time I have Coach Keebs on, you want to talk about someone that just exudes passion for a program. That is Coach Keebs and the Kiski program, and I just love both those guys. Just fantastic people.
For sure. Ross Koski comes from great roots. And what I heard right there was nothing less than humble. He's not done. He's already, I don't want to say he's forgotten about his recent success, but he's moving on to what's the next match. And you can tell he's very clearly, he's honed in one match at a time. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to wrestle my match. Things started out a little slow for him on Tuesday, picked up the pace and was able to get a big win against Burrow. And it was a hostile environment over there. I mean, it was like a mini Hawkeye arena. And then you talk about Keebs, he's part of a coaching staff, that began with Tursky. And how many decades has Coach Tursky, the winningest coach in the WPIAL, recently, dedicated a new training facility. And when you make it over to Kiski, please take the time, ask the coaches. They love it. They will have zero problem taking you on a little field trip to go check out the training center. It is insane. And they paid, wasn't too much money to build it either. They had so many donations and a lot of people that are in the wrestling world, contractors that were able to come in and do things. But back to Keebs, he's part of this sustained coaching staff that year after year, they just continue to find ways, not find ways to win. They are their destiny is to go win. And for them to battle through the past three seasons where they were a little bit down, some holes here and there, but we're seeing some of those youths move up. He's as humble as they come. And I think that coaching staff is truly grateful for the leadership that they have in the room, just with the guys. You know what I mean? I mean, I remember having programs like that where you kind of just sit back and let the guys lead the show. We tell them what to do and they do it. And you know what? They've earned every bit of success they've had thus far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And
did I lose you, Donnie?
No, you're good. You're good. I was just kind of echoing what you said there, and I agree, man. Just no doubt about it. The Kiski just so impressive, and we've been hearing rumblings of this team in particular the last few years. Just kind of they're coming. Once these heavyweights kind of all space each other out and find a spot. Like Abe Taylor was a guy that didn't even make their lineup for a couple years, just kind of how it all worked out because of a guy like Mark Gray. So just to kind of see everything fall into place, and obviously, we talked a little bit there in the interview. I mean, it's wide open this year. AAA is completely wide open. It's going to be so much fun, and I think that's a good way to kind of talk about the next couple things here, the next segment, if you will. It was Dole weekend in the WPIAL, Smitty. I know you're not sure what you had going on. I'm sure either you're out there in the woods, maybe trying to hunt a deer or something this weekend. But man, there was doles everywhere. I know you had Kiski there in the afternoon. But just talk about being over there at Kiski. Just I mean, you saw 3 of the top 8 teams in my mind, top 6 teams maybe in NA, Kanak, and Kiski. Just talk about those couple doles and how much fun it's going to be here in a couple months. I lose you, Smitty. And Smitty might have lost connection there. I'm not sure what we got going on with my brother, but just to kind of keep on going with what you there?
For sure. And, you got to throw Penn Trafford, Hempfield, Dubois in there as well.
Yep.
Teams. Did you lose me?
I did for
Hello?
a second, but keep going. And we're gonna kick Smitty there for a little bit. He's, gets out there in the sticks, guys. What can you say? I was impressed that he made it through that interview there. We're gonna get him back on in here in a second. But let me pull up the page here to kind of bring what we got going on for this past weekend. Of course, Tuesday was a great duel over at Kiski. We've talked a bunch about that, but man, there was duels all over the place this past week. Of course, Connellsville and West Allegheny was a great duel. You guys know I was locked into that one. Cannon Mac smoked Char Valley 67-3. Burgettstown looked good against a newer Avella team. Hampton outlasted Fox Chapel 40-35. Hopewell over Freedom 35-27. Kiski over Indiana. Mars over Butler. Montour over Southside Beaver. North Allegheny over North Hills. Penn Trafford over Plum. In a match that I believe they had on over in Westmoreland Sports Network. Let's see if we can get Smitty back on here. Smitty, you there, brother? Nope, we can't. So again, that was another duel that we had on the Westmoreland Sports Network. I do believe you want to watch that. You can go back in the archives. And speaking of the duels this weekend, again, we were talking to Smitty about just kind of what he saw over there at the Kiski duels. We're going to try to bring him on one more time. You there, brother?
Yo, copy.
You there?
Got me this time, copy.
I like it. We are live with
Hello?
Smitty. Smitty, just last question I have for you, buddy. As we talk about the Kiski guys there, just give me your kind of final thoughts as there's a bunch of different teams here that can go out and win this team title this year in AAA.
For sure. We talked about it, and not just AAA, but AA. I mean, as I said earlier, and I'm going to try to find something a little bit more craftier, it's a beautiful disaster. It's the perfect storm, and it's coming. I mean, there is no clear-cut team that's ahead above the other. And, we're going to see some shifts in weight once, we get the 2-pound allowance here in a couple weeks. And you'll start to see those shifts and where the kids are going to settle in. And it's going to be absolutely fascinating to watch how this unfolds. Obviously, you got to stay healthy. That's the big thing. That's one of the most important things, to stay healthy. But I'll tell you what, it's we had Kiski on tonight, and they're going to be in the discussion. If they're not in, at Peters Township, I believe that's where the WPIAL Team Championships is this year. One of those Final Four teams making, their case to get to Hershey for the team state tournament. I'll be shocked. I mean, it would have to be an absolute disaster. They don't shy away from competition. They're hunting it down. They're growing, and it's from persistency and the sustainability of that program, starting way down at the youths all the way up through. And it starts with that leadership and that coaching staff. And I'm impressed by what I've seen so far from them.
Smitty, thank you for your time coming out of the bullpen tonight, brother. I appreciate you.
Love you, brother. Merry Christmas to everybody. Be safe. Take care of each other and take care of yourself. Love you, D-Hall.
Love you, brother. Talk soon.
Peace.
All right. And that was my main man, Chris Smith, the head play-by-play man over at Westmoreland Sports Network. Of course, if you haven't already, go out and check the archives of some of the duels that they've had on already. It's been fantastic stuff. Speaking of archives, I was kind of getting into there as I was leaving Smitty go. Again, it was duels weekend in the WPIAL, and I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do the Moon Duels finals which was fantastic over there in Moon. And it ended up being Derry and Palmyra. It was live on my YouTube channel. It was great. Shout out Matt Leeper and Chris and company. And of course, my Keller commentator and Justin Ritter. It was a fantastic time. But really, really, the big takeaway over there, as I'm going down the list here, and we'll click on the box score here for you guys to see. It started off where Palmyra got a win over with Tyler Detweiler, and this Detweiler here, he had a pretty good day. I mean, he beat Olsen here in this match, and the match before that, he upset Kale Yannick in a surprising match, and I feel like that was if you even talk to the Moon folk, I would say that they were surprised that Palmyra came in and beat them. But Palmyra came ready to wrestle. But this is just really kind of just talking about how dominant Derry was. I mean, Derry is impressive. They're coming. Obviously we just watched Burrow on Tuesday. But this Derry team, this Derry team's really good. And if you're underneath, you better be ready for the boots. They're coming and coming hard. So I was just impressed all the way around. Of course, the coaching staff is top tier over there with Troy Dolan, and they have Hunter Kernan is over there rolling around. Of course, Mickey Philippi is not far away either. It's just I was just super impressed with Derry at the Moon Dolls. Rounding out the rest of the Moon Dolls, Moon defeated West Allegheny in the third and fourth place match. Moon was it 30-28 over West Allegheny. You see there. North Hills Dolls, big notes there. North Hills goes out and wins their Dolls. Carter Morvay goes out and gets his 100th victory in those Dolls. Of course, Carter Morvay, one of my favorites to watch go the last couple years. He's been fantastic. Shamrock Dolls, which is Barnesville, Ohio. Trinity made the trip out there. They went, I believe it was 5-0 on the day, rather, for Trinity. And of course, we talked about a little bit there. Coach Keeps talked about it in the interview that they just had a 33-33 criteria loss to Franklin Regional. So they're certainly a team that, can be in the mix there. Now, again, just kind of little, things to keep in mind and little post-it notes as we're talking about these top teams. Obviously, I think in Double A, it's a lot of Derry and Borough, and I can't wait for that collision course. But talking about these top AAA teams and just kind of reviewing the rest of these Dole meets tournaments. Hampton had Altoona went 5-0 over there, but Latrobe went 4-1. Thomas Jefferson went 4-1. They looked pretty good, respectively. And Franklin Regional went out and dominated down in West Virginia, getting a couple matches there, not a couple 6, which makes a bunch of sense. And back into kind of the Cavalier Doles here. Now, if you look at some of these box scores, there was wrestlers out for some of these teams. So obviously, it's not the end all be all with some of these matches. Yes, Kiski had a great day, and we think they are rolling and certainly going to be there as one of those teams at the end of the year. But Cannon Mac had an injury. I know that North Allegheny had an injury, as well as McConaughey giving up 6 points there in injury default to Cooper. And McConaughey, shout out to him. He committed to App State. I believe it was either today or yesterday. He's a stud. Again, number 1 ranked wrestler in the state at heavyweight. And, a guy that just beat Colin White. What was it, last week? Yeah, last week on Saturday at the Shark Houston tournament. So there's just there's a lot of stuff that can happen and a lot of interesting ways it can all break down. And again, I preach it all the time. That flip in a very tight duel, it means a lot. It could swing a lot of things. Just the way that these coaches, they are masterminds. They understand the lineups better than you could even think to imagine, and play out scenarios. Scenario A, B, C, D, all the way down their line. Just thinking it all out, and again, I just think that when we get down to the end of the line here, a lot of the times it's going to be that flip, and then who can get who on certain matchups, and that's what makes it a lot of fun. So, looking forward to what we have going on this weekend coming up. Um, Again, this was this Dole's weekend, this past weekend, and the competition doesn't stop coming here this coming week. Of course, we had a couple of Dole matches here in the early part of the week, and you go here, King of the Mountain, one of my favorite tournaments out there in the middle of the state. It's Central Mountain High School, Bethel Park, Borough, Canon-Mac, Greater Latrobe, Shaler, and West A go out to that one, and that's littered with teams that are in the middle of the state, like the Altoonas, the Central Mountains, believe Mifflin counties, the teams like that they're going to see in the region at the end of the year. And of course, with the new region, you want to kind of get your hands on some of those guys at least once before we get to the end of the year at Canon-Mac. Now, Panther Holiday Classic, that's out at Mount Aloysius College towards the middle of the state. You look at the list of teams here, another great list: Armstrong, Avonworth, Bentworth, Derry, Indiana, McGuffey, Penn Hills, Quaker Valley, Seneca Valley, and South Park. I mean, that's a fantastic list in itself. So, of course, Beast of the East for Norwin. We're excited to see how some individuals do out there. I'm excited to check that one out. And you look at Nurse Pro tournament. That's in West Virginia. Going back down to West Virginia is Franklin Regional, then Fraser, Penn Trafford, Ringgold, Southmoreland, and Trinity, all down there. Just it's going to be a great week ahead. We got Red Bank Valley duels. Looks like maybe just Highlands there. Sharpsville, we got a couple of schools going there. Blackhawk, Beaver County Christian, Southside Beaver. So yeah, I mean, it is heating up before we kind of get. I find I kind of the first checkpoint in the year for me is always Powerade and the first of the year. The kids get the 2 pounds and stuff kind of moves around, and the weights kind of change, and I feel like that's kind of the first checkpoint. Then our next checkpoint is when the WPIAL brackets come out and we wrestle the WPIAL tournament. Then obviously the last checkpoint is the individual tournament at the end of the year. But man, what a great week it was in the WPIAL. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Been on here almost an hour. Of course, thank you, Smitty, for coming on and coming out of the bullpen. Kaz had a little bit going on dad duty, which obviously I can completely understand that. So it is, another great week ahead. These teams are out there grinding, out there working hard, and I just can't wait to watch it keep on rolling down the tracks. So again, if you haven't already, go back and check it out. The Moon Duel Finals on my YouTube live stream. I have most of the Canon-Mac live streams matches on there as well. And always go check out my boys over at Westmoreland Sports Network, Smitty, Flick. I mean, they do George, of course, all those guys over there. Kaz is a big part of it as well. They do big stuff for the WPIAL and the WPIAL wrestling scene, of course. And that match, I'm just going to leave you guys on this. I'm just going to reiterate, that atmosphere was absolutely incredible. If you're a wrestling junkie and you haven't been to a Burl Kiski duel, get your ass there. It was unbelievable. I can't even give it enough justice because of just the atmosphere, the intensity, and really, Smitty said it right. It was kind of like a mini Hawkeye arena. Everyone's kind of on top of each other. So many people, the kids are standing in each little corner of the railing, and there's people standing in the corner of the gym. legit standing room only. So I'm gonna give a little shout out, little love to the AK Valley. Good job, you guys. That is awesome stuff. Those kids should feel that. They should feel the intensity, and I hope you guys keep that going forever because you got a big fan in D Hall, and I'm gonna be there for every single one. So again, great week in the WPIAL. So much fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Good luck to those teams that are going out of town to go to these individual tournaments. Stay safe on your travels. Bring home some hardware. Let's talk about it next week. We'll see you guys next week right here on Near Falls in the WPIAL. Later. Love yins.